A Pulaski County father and son who admitted to a violent shooting that left a woman with life-altering injuries are sent to prison.
The family of a man killed here in Lexington are teaming up with police, hoping that a new program will help solve his case.
It's been 5 months since a Richmond police officer was killed in the line of duty, and community support has not stopped. We'll have details coming up.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
She was shot in the face and left to die. And nearly a year after that crime, a Pulaski County woman was in court today as a judge sentenced the father and son responsible for the crime.
Mark and Tim Showalter admitted they broke into the wrong home when they tried to steal drugs. Allison Beauclair was shot when she told them she didn't have any. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to her after the hearing. It's our top story at 5:30.
Allison Beauclair came to court Thursday with a written statement, words of how her life was changed when two men broke into her home in May of last year.
I have nightmares all the time. It was the most horrifying thing I ever experienced. I was near the edge of death.
Beauclair was shot in the face when police say Timothy and Mark Showalter broke into her Eubank home. Mark ordered her to give up her drugs.
I didn't have his drugs. I didn't even know what they were talking about. And I explained it to the county attorney, and he still said, well, Tim's dad said that he was high on drugs.
The younger Showalter pleaded guilty to burglary and received 8 years in prison. The elder was charged with attempted murder, but pleaded guilty to assault and received 12 years.
He broke every bone in my face, put his knee to my throat.
Allison Beauclair says she may never see the money, but as part of the sentence, the two were ordered to pay $18,000 in restitution. She says she still owes that and her medical bills.
The judge said the case gives him pause, and while talking to the prosecutor, Mark Showalter interrupted him.
I'm talking to him right now, Mr. Showalter. I'll turn it over to you, your buddy.
Whether it was an accident, Beauclair says the shooting has changed her life forever.
My nasal cavity is shot out. I had the aneurysm here. They're going to have to redo it.
Beauclair says the shooting caused her to lose so much, but she says she's so thankful to still have her life. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Well, prosecutors say because the crime involved violence, the two will have to serve 80% of their sentences before being eligible for parole.
In the same courtroom today, a man was sentenced for trying to hire someone to commit a murder. Police arrested 26-year-old Jordan Nicholas in February when he reached out to someone about trying to kill a person, but the person he tried to hire was actually an undercover deputy sheriff. Nicholas pled guilty to solicitation to commit murder. He was sentenced today to 13 years in prison.
More fallout today after investigators discovered a Kentucky school board official cheated on his GED exam. Knox County School Board Chairman Dexter Smith is under investigation for perjury after allegations surfaced he didn't have a valid high school diploma. Yesterday, investigators confirmed that another person took the GED test for Smith when he went to the Jackson County Adult Education Center. Today, the Office of Attorney General Andy Beshear confirmed they have opened an investigation into Smith, saying they are currently reviewing the matter.
A police chase in Anderson County ended when the car being chased crashed. A report in the Anderson News says the chase started in Versailles earlier this afternoon and ended near the Wild Turkey Distillery on US 62. The paper says the female driver was taken to a nearby hospital to be treated for injuries. She was reportedly speaking with EMS workers before being transported. Officers say the woman is now facing several charges.
Lexington police are hoping a new program will help bring in more information on recent crimes. Police say Text a Tip is a completely anonymous way for people to contact police. Kristen Kennedy has more in a story that's new at 5:30.
The El Amin family has waited for almost a year for police to arrest the person who killed their loved one. Kwame El Amin died from shots fired at a basketball tournament at Douglas Park.
We are still praying that this is resolved, and it's hard on all of us.
Father Omar El Amin stood with Lexington police Thursday when they launched their new program, Text a Tip. They're asking people to fill them in on recent crimes by texting a new anonymous tip line.
We want a resolution for Kwame. We also want a resolution for the people involved in the shooting, because a tip could save their lives too. because they're on a downward trajectory.
Lexington police say the program is completely anonymous. When people text in those tips, they're going through a third party before going on to Lexington police.
When you're asking me, can I assure the trust level in it, that's why we went to an outside source and said we need something to demonstrate the trust that we wouldn't be calling people back.
Anita Franklin lost her son Antonio in 2014.
A tip started the ball rolling in solving what happened to my son. A tip gave us some final moments. A tip gave us facts so that the police department could go out and get people that didn't need to be on the streets off the streets.
She, too, thinks Text a Tip will help solve cases. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
To text a tip, dial crimes 274637 and start your text with the word Lex PD. We also have that information for you on WKYT.com. Some rain and thunderstorms are moving through the bluegrass this evening, but Chris Bailey says don't cancel your weekend plans.
That's what he says. We believe Chris, don't we? Let's check in with Chris.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that weekend.
You get to Saturday and Sunday, guys. We're timing it out to where it's going to be absolutely gorgeous again. Getting there is still gorgeous. Why? Because we're tracking rain. Why? We need it. When we're getting in on a little bit out there now across parts of central Kentucky, especially, we tried our best to get a little shower to go up early in the day. All this dry air, though, eating the rains alive a little earlier. Now, all of a sudden, look at your Defender radar network across parts of the bluegrass region. A little shower trying to grow into a thunderstorm potentially here across the Woodford County area. That is just to the west of Keeneland. Southward we go through Mercer County toward the Perryville area, western Boyle County, northern parts of Casey County. Showers, thunderstorms trying to flare up here, getting in on some rain around the Lake Cumberland area. That extends well back to the west into Bowling Green and west of Interstate 65. We've got a weak area of low pressure, stronger area of low pressure right on its heels. That arrives for the day tomorrow. Look at the spin associated with that. That is a classic little storm system. Kind of looks like a tropical system, doesn't it, with all those spiraling bands? Well, what you see right now across northern Missouri and Iowa is right on top of Kentucky as we go into your Friday. We'll track that with an hour-by-hour forecast, and yes, we'll also track that good-looking weekend too, guys.
It's been 5 months since a Richmond police officer was gunned down in the line of duty, but the memory of Officer Daniel Ellis continues to spread throughout his community.
Caitlin Sentner has more now from Madison County.
Everybody's felt this loss. You know, I've said that several times.
The Richmond community impacted by the loss of Officer Daniel Ellis. He's a hero to kids at Clark Morris Middle School.
We have a resource officer that's here almost every day, and if not, he's here at our beck and call.
So the kids decided they wanted to honor Officer Ellis and the entire force.
The entire school helped out.
Thursday, they gave officers a $225 check to help out with travel to a national memorial. Officer Ellis will be honored in Washington, D.C. during Police Week next month.
It doesn't matter if it's 20 years from now or tomorrow. We're never going to forget him and the sacrifice he made. But to be up there, it's going to be interesting. I can't tell you what the emotions I'll be feeling.
Officers say it's hard to find the words to properly say thank you for continued support. Students filled this jar in honor of Officer Daniel Ellis. Officers say they didn't think they would get as much support as they have, and there's something going on again tomorrow in honor of Officer Ellis. Friday, the city of Richmond is renaming its police building in honor of the fallen officer.
I was thinking about today that, you know, my girls won't remember him. They're only about one right now. So, you know, something I can take them to and our family can just have a source of pride. It's going to be awesome being able to drive by there and see that.
The dedication is happening on what would be Ellis's 34th birthday. In Madison County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
And that dedication ceremony will be held tomorrow morning. It starts at 8:30. A memorial plaque will also be unveiled.
An exciting new center that will benefit many people here in the Bluegrass is expected to open in the next several months. Now, Linda has our good question tonight. What is the projected opening date for the new senior center? Well, it's right behind Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road at New Circle, a 33,000 square foot center that was paid for through bond money. It will include, among other things, a group exercise room, pickleball courts, indoor and outdoor walking tracks, and much more. and it replaces the center at Nicholasville Road and Alumni Drive that is about half the size. The new center will be able to hold 24 classes at one time. And as to when it will open, today I contacted the mayor's office and they say there is no set date, but it should be late this summer. To submit a good question, send an email to goodquestion@WKYT.com.
Students at Lexington High School are learning about their rights when dealing with police. That story coming up in about 6 minutes here on WKYT.
I'm Bill Bryant. A flurry of activity all of a sudden ahead of Kentucky's May 17th primary. And a member of the state retirement board defies Governor Bevin. The bottom line is on the way.
I'm Victor Puente in Powell County, where state police are investigating a shooting that happened last night. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from a friend of the woman they say pulled the trigger.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 100.1 WKQQ.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports, just $189 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
This Zensation salad is so good. It's like change your life good.
It's you! Will you sign my book, please?
You're a best-selling author?
Who rocks a turtleneck? Oh, it's good to be me. Youth.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Zensation salad is back. Chicken fingers, crispy wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey sesame sauce, and a veggie egg roll. Only at Zaxby's.
At Window World, you get the best price right up front.
Not just any price.
Our lowest price.
Guaranteed. Our windows feature the Good Housekeeping seal.
And come with a lifetime limited warranty.
Act now and get a house full of windows for as low as $79 a month installed.
And save hundreds on siding, doors, shutters, and more.
Best products, best service, best people. Not only do we stand behind our windows, we stand on it.
Window World.
Preferred window installer of the Big Blue Nation.
Mr. Lover. I'm Mr. Lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic. Call me fantastic, touch me on me back, she says
you live life your way.
Smooth.
We can help you retire your way too. Financial guidance while you're mastering life. From Chase, so you can.
Now take me thin no pill.
Remember the feeling you got when you did something you didn't know you could do? Get that feeling again.
Everyone loved your proposal. You won our business.
With a degree from Indiana Wesleyan University, you just might surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. Visit IWULexington.com to explore our courses. IWU, anything is possible.
Established in 1841, Hill & Myers is a local 6th-generation family-owned business. Our company has evolved over the years from a wholesale nursery to design build to commercial and equine maintenance. Now, Hill & Myers offers Weedman lawn care fertilization and weed control for your home, bringing together the long tradition with the best products to give you a lush, weed-free emerald green lawn. Weedman, we care for your lawn. Visit WeedmanUSA.com to request a free estimate today.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During Ram Truck Month, new 2016 Ram, Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drives are only $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The Clinton campaign is getting ready for Kentucky's Democratic primary next month.
Bill Bryant has details in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. Several developments ahead of Kentucky's May 17th primary all of a sudden. Democrat Hillary Clinton's campaign has announced some members of her Kentucky team. Clinton has hired a veteran of Allison Lundergan Grimes' 2014 U.S. Senate run to lead her campaign. The Clinton campaign employed Elizabeth Cantrell Brooks as its state director. A communications director is also on board, as are some other team members, as Clinton now organizes the Commonwealth. Bernie Sanders insists he's still has a path to the nomination. He has supporters who hope to turn up the vote in Kentucky as well. But the primary comes the week after most colleges let out for the semester. Democratic Senate candidate Lexington Mayor Jim Gray is hitting the TV airwaves ahead of the primary. Gray is hoping to stand out among several candidates for the Democratic nomination, including former Frankfort City Commissioner Celeste Wilder. And 1st District Republican candidate Michael Pape has started an ad in the Lexington market. The 1st District stretches from western Kentucky all along the Kentucky-Tennessee border until it turns north and touches the outer bluegrass. Pape's ad uses actors depicting a run across the U.S. border. At the end of an eventful week, including his allegations of corruption in his predecessor's administration, Governor Matt Bevin is confirmed as a guest on this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers. Bevin will be in Lexington Saturday for the Republican State Convention. We'll talk to him about issues in Frankfort and the recently passed state budget. That interview to air Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT and repeat at 10 a.m. Sunday on the CW Lexington. The chairman of the Kentucky Retirement Systems Board of Trustees presided at a meeting this morning in defiance of Governor Bevin's order that he be removed from the board. Thomas Elliott took his seat at the table this morning. Elliott was appointed by former Governor Steve Beshear for a term set to run until 2019. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Some Lexington high school students just received a leg up when it comes to knowing their rights when dealing with police. Street Law is a 10-week program that teaches students about their rights and options when interacting with officers or under police custody. The program is put on by UK law students with help from faculty. The group says students that walk out have a better understanding of not only their rights, but when action is necessary.
But we give it to them in a way that they don't feel like they have to go and say, look, I have these rights and you can treat me like this. We give them that knowledge so they can know at the back of their mind that when a situation arises, this is something that someone can do and someone cannot do.
Today, students received a certificate showing they completed the program.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
One of those afternoons where it just looks like it could rain at any point, doesn't it? It's not raining for a lot of the area. That's about to change, though. We look outside in Lexington, overcast conditions now. We have a lot more humidity in the air compared to the same point yesterday, though humidity levels are still kind of wimpy across the eastern half of the state. 75 degrees right now. Winds are coming at us from the south at 17 miles an hour, and now look at what we are seeing. The air along and west of 75 becoming much more juicy, so it's leading to some showers and some thunderstorms. Starting to see that now blow up on your Defender radar network for parts of Harrison County through Georgetown. Through most of Woodford County, that extends toward the Harrodsburg area, and it's being pushed by a little greater band of some showers and thunder showers to the southwest of us. Notice that little band now trying to pop here across parts of Boyle County, down toward the Campbellsville area and Bowling Green. Everything is lifting off to the east and the northeast. That's ahead of a little bowling ball area of low pressure. Look at how photogenic that little system is, spiraling its way into parts of northern Missouri right now. That is on top of us as we go into the day tomorrow. So it's not a total washout of a day. It's a day to where you can have a shower or thunderstorm at any point. Then you can have an hour or two of some sun. Then you may pick up on another little gusty shower or a storm working on through town. Into the weekend, 3-day threat track, green, good. On Saturday into Sunday, nothing right now to really worry about. Partly sunny skies both days. Temperatures in the morning will be a little cooler, but by the afternoon, we're warming it up. We could be near 80 as we wrap up the weekend on Sunday. 6 o'clock this evening, coming up in a matter of minutes, hour-by-hour forecast, picking up on that band of showers and thunderstorms, racing into the bluegrass region as we go through the next several hours. You notice how we get those showers and thunderstorms through here, knocking temperatures down into the upper 50s. Should stay into the upper 50s overnight and tomorrow morning. This model says we pick up close to an inch of rain through tomorrow. That would be okay. My lawn would say, yeah, bring it on. 5 o'clock into the afternoon, mid to upper 60s. How about your Friday evening? Notice the rain's beginning to go by the wayside. 56 degrees during that time. A little chill in the air to start out the day on Saturday. Still could be some leftover clouds into eastern Kentucky. I've seen a setup like this leave enough cloud cover into the mountains to produce a little drizzle to start out the day. Though as we get deeper into the afternoon, skies become sunny, upper 60s to low 70s, depending on exactly where you are. For that Saturday evening out on the town, may need a jacket, dropping it into the upper 40s and low 50s by 11 o'clock. I mentioned this setup coming up for next week. It is one that can deliver 90-degree heat from the Carolinas into parts of the Deep South. It's also one that across the Great Lakes can deliver 30s and 40s for highs. Kentucky is on the warm side of all this with a stalled out boundary. A lot of times that's a setup with those air masses kind of clashing against one another that can lead to some waves of showers and thunderstorms. Not one of those periods where it just rains the entire time. It's warm next week, upper 70s to around 80, with at least a threat each day for a shower or a thunderstorm. Oh, did I mention the weekend looks good? Saturday, Sunday, low 70s to around 80. To wrap things up on Sunday.
I look at your 7-day forecast and I forget that it's April. It kind of looks like late May, June.
Right, it really
sort of
is.
there.
And next week will feel the part too. We'll have a lot more humidity than what we've had this week.
Right.
Well, now to sports, and Brian, we have a special story.
In sports, we see players overcome the odds. We see it constantly. However, when we return, we've got the story of a young man who has done much more than just return to the field of play. Sports is next.
CBS Tonight, when the case heats up.
This was a targeted explosion.
Hong Kong's finest.
He's like Asian Batman.
And LA's wildest.
LAPD, drop your weapon!
Come under fire.
Every lead blows up in our faces. That was inadvertent.
New Rush Hour, CBS Tonight, or stream it live or on demand. How happy are we that Mike and Molly's back? Cue the puppy.
Are you giving me kisses?
The final season of Mike and Molly returns CBS Monday.
Kentucky Lottery jackpot sequence has been initiated. Prepare for current jackpot amount.
Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $251 million.
We invited you here today to get your honest opinion about this new car. To keep things unbiased, we removed all the badging and logos. So what do you think it is?
Reminds me a little bit of like an Audi.
I would say Lexus. Maybe Acura.
What if I told you this is the 2016 Chevy Malibu?
Wow.
This is a Malibu?
Qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months on this Chevy Malibu. Or find your tag and get $2,000 total cash allowance. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
Hey, man. Who do you think Captain D was?
Captain D was actually regional semi-pro hockey captain Doug LaCour. Fueled by his voracious love of seafood, Doug would punch holes in the ice with his bare hands for a mid-practice snack.
Yes. You're full of it.
He sure is, Paul. Full of Captain D's Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of Nashville hot seasonings for our Nashville hot fish. For full meals at just $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
For the first time ever, the factory-authorized spring savings event at Burke Furniture, featuring handcrafted furniture from Hooker, Bradington Young, and Sam Moore. Now, for a limited time, enjoy savings up to 60% off these high-quality name brands. Hooker, Bradington Young, and Sam Moore represent the essence of quality furniture, and your place to find all this is at Burke Furniture. But you'd better hurry. This is a limited-time offer. It's the factory-authorized spring savings event exclusively at Burke Furniture.
Shouldn't you have a checking account that makes your life easier? Introducing Easy Checking from Republic Bank. Relax with no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee. Easily send money through our app with Mobile Pop Money. Remembering your password is as easy as scanning your fingerprint or eye using iPrint ID. And for easy access to your money, you can use 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Easy checking for your hard-earned money. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
Once through, we'll stop Donald Trump.
See, Ted Cruz too?
He ignored my pape.
Who?
My pape.
Tape?
Pape, my pape. The conservative running for Congress who helped Trump build the wall.
Will this Mike Pape help Ted Cruz repeal Obamacare?
See?
We must stop Mike Pape.
Vámonos!
I'm Mike Pape, and I approve this message because no one will stop me from standing up for you.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop barnhillchimney.com.
Cody Casey had a promising football career in front of him when he arrived at Georgetown College, but a tough break put him on a life-changing course. Lee K. Howard has this story.
It's the ultimate contact sport.
Football is one of the greatest sports you can compete in, you know.
you're always going hard, and on defense especially, you get to hit people. So that's one of the things I love to do is hit people.
But if you look closely, Cody Casey has something that sets him apart.
The other day I saw him fall flat on his face, and you know, guys went to pick him up, and before they could pick him up, he was back up in line ready to roll again. And when you have that kind of determination, you know, you find a way to use them.
A chance to play football brought Cody Casey to Georgetown College, where as a freshman he earned a starting spot in the defensive backfield and was named to the all-conference team. But a tough break his sophomore season would change his football career.
I remember like it was yesterday. I was locked up with my defender on punt return, and I was pushing him back. I got hit on the side of my leg, and I didn't know what happened at first. I just got dizzy, really dizzy, and eventually I fell, and then I looked down at my leg, and yeah, I saw it was broke.
Bill Cronin has been the head coach at Georgetown College for 20 years and has seen his fair share of injuries.
We thought it might be a typical break, but it was anything but typical.
Cody underwent surgery that night where a rod was inserted to stabilize the broken bone. 6 months later, the doctors noticed the problem.
My bone didn't really grow that much, and found out I had an infection in my leg.
9 surgeries would follow, each without much progress.
In my mind, I always kept a positive attitude, just to think that, like, you know, I can't look at this in a bad way because it won't really help anything looking at it a bad way.
1 year after the injury and after countless surgeries, the infection was still not improving. It's at that moment that he had to make the decision of his life.
19 years old and you have to get your leg cut off. Like, you don't want to think about that at a young age, but you know, I really had to make a life-changing decision.
Cody says it was a decision that paid off because just getting back on his feet wasn't enough. He wanted to return to the football field, and that's exactly what he did this spring.
I think he's got high hopes to be back on the football field on game day, and that would be quite a thing to see. And if anybody can do it, he'll be able to do that.
And as long as his heart is in it, one leg will do.
The moment I do step on that field, because I know I will, it's just going to be amazing.
In Georgetown, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Certainly wish him the best of luck. That's sports. We'll be right back.